This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Brandon Andrus Green.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. Are you looking for a faith-based survivor movement built around freedom, healing, and restored voices? Well, one might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, AnnMarie Hayden with Fireborne. AnnMarie, how's it going?
It's going great, Brandon. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks. Yeah, it means a lot. We're excited to learn all about you, Fireborne, and the mission behind this faith-based survivor-led movement.
Well, thank you. You do a lot yourself. I'm honored to be here with you and to share a little bit about what we do.
Thanks. That means a lot. Will you tell us a little bit about Fireborne? What really inspired you to start this?
Well, as you've said, that Fireborne is a survivor-led, it's faith-rooted ministry. We focus on equipping people to become a part of the solution to exploitation, and we work at the intersection of lived experience, community, and church. It really, for us, it's the heart is about moving people and from awareness to understanding to action. And there was a long time that I believed that those of us that were working in this, and I've seen it, that are working in this movement have to do everything. A lot of nonprofits are out there doing everything with very little. But I don't believe that anyone is called to do everything, but that everyone has something they can do. So much of what we do is about helping people discover what their role is, discover what their gifts and their talents are. And if they hate this thing that we call exploitation and trafficking and abuse and oppression, that they can do something about it. They've been gifted to do just that. And so equipping them to release them to actually do something with it is really the heart behind Fireborne.
Wow. Now I'm super curious, AnnMarie. How did you even get into this type of work in the first place?
Well, I come by it honestly. My journey started long before Fireborne. The name, the idea, the solution came about. I'm a survivor of childhood abuse, of exploitation and trafficking, familial trafficking. And for a lot of my life, I was surviving. It wasn't until in my 40s that I really began to understand healing and freedom in a completely new way. And it's because God started to do a work in me that changed not only how I saw my story, but how I saw myself, my identity and who I was, and began to see that my story just wasn't something that I had survived, but it was something that God could use. So I began serving in ministry at my local church. I then began working in ministry at my local church, began working with survivors and awareness events in my local area, and truly just learning more. There's always more that can be learned, even from my lived experience about exploitation and trafficking. And I kept seeing gaps. That's just the reality of it. I saw survivors with incredible wisdom who weren't always being heard. I saw churches who genuinely wanted to help, but didn't always know how. I saw communities full of people who cared deeply, but had no idea what their specific role was. So Fireborne really grew out of that. It was this realization that maybe my role wasn't to do all the work. Maybe my role was to help equip other people to do the work. That's what ministry is, right?
That's so good, AnnMarie.
Yeah. So that's what Fireborne is. That's how I came about it.
It's great. So what's a common misconception that you think people have about, let's say, survivor advocacy?
About survivor advocacy, I'm not sure. I think that people are challenged with survivor leaders. I'll say that. I think that a lot of people think that survivors are too broken, and maybe too weak. A lot of times that victim mentality is projected onto a survivor, as if they could not have been vulnerable to the same experiences that I had, or that I didn't learn something from the experiences I had. I survived. We survived a lot of things. And in surviving a lot of those things, I gained a lot of skills. And those skills are transferable. And those skills are being put to use in corporate America across the world right now. That's my day job. And in ministry, God is using that also to reach people, to connect people to their God-given gifts, and to connect them to organizations that are doing good work, but are trying to do it all alone. And they need people. We need churches, we need communities, we need people activated, but we need them activated from a informed place, and from their place. We all have a space, we all have a seat, we all have gifts and talents. And when we're operating from those gifts and talents, we're operating in the spirits, and we're so much more powerful than we could ever hope or imagine.
Wow, what a good word. You're giving me goosebumps. So who are the people you most hope to, let's say, reach and empower through Fireborne? I mean, obviously we've established survivors, but is there an actual demographic you're going after?
For me, there is. I'm going after faith leaders. And that doesn't mean just your lead pastor at a church. That could be your Christian man who's running a business. It could be your Christian mom who's running a family. I'm going after faith leaders, because as faith leaders, we are already in a position to be equipped by the Holy Spirit. We're closer to that, and it is our job. It is our great commission to go and help those that are oppressed. So I'm looking to help those that are already trying to do those things reach that next level. I think that's the easiest audience for me to reach right now. There's more work to be done, and there's people out there reaching other spaces of it. But I believe that God's plan A for oppression, exploitation, and abuse is the church. And that's the Big C church. And so that's you and me and Jill and John and all of us out there who call ourselves faith leaders, because we call ourselves Christians.
And how are you connecting with these faith leaders?
There's a few strategies that I've deployed. So I operate, in a very open space where I share who I am wherever I go. So it doesn't matter if I'm working in a boardroom or if I'm working in a church room. I'm AnnMarie, the leader, and I'm talking about my Christian faith. I'm talking about my lived experience, and I'm encouraging people to live with purpose, and to live on purpose. So from that, naturally, this becomes relationships that then become an engagement where people are looking to learn more. And if you're impassioned about ending exploitation, there's a place for you there. You have giftings that you can lend to it. And God has gifted me with connections with people that are doing amazing work that would love to have more people on board with them. So whether it's you're really good at driving a car and therefore you could teach somebody to drive a car, you're really good at math and you can teach somebody math, or you're really good at, sending out letters. I mean, there's all kinds of ways people can help in this movement. We need to focus in on what can we individually do, and then try to mobilize that. I'm a really big proponent of what has God already placed in your hands. So when I meet with churches, for instance, I meet with church staffs, or I meet with board regencies, and I say, what are you already doing? Do you already have a food bank? Are you already doing homeless outreach? What are you already doing that we can go ahead and begin informing? Because what we know about trafficking and exploitation is that it begins with vulnerabilities. And where churches are reaching those that are vulnerable, they have the opportunity to engage with those that are either at risk or already being victimized by these predators. So how can we equip them to see it and then do something about it. And do something about it from a healthy place. I love my local church, and I love their intentions, but sometimes good intentions hurt. And so if you don't know better, you can't do better. And so I'm here to say that Jesus Christ has shown us exactly how to do this. Jesus was trauma informed. We hear about being trauma informed all the time. Well, Jesus was trauma informed. He asked questions. He presented opportunities. He waited for people to make those choices, and he loved them anyway. So I want to encourage the church that you don't have to be this clinical certified, whatever it might be. They just need to be Jesus. And when we do that, we see people coming into the church that don't look on the outside what they're starting to look like on the inside. And instead of going out the back door, they're sitting and they're staying and they're being discipled. And soon, like me, we're making disciples.
Amen. Have you found there is a way to share these stories and maybe even bring awareness in such a way that it wakes people up while still protecting the survivor's dignity?
Yeah, I'm not a big person to promote, and that might be some of my challenges. I believe what I am called to do is really to link up with other survivors so that we can go out there and equip more churches, more community members, more people in this movement, and then that will happen. Am I a part of still reaching those that are being victimized? I go on outreach on a regular basis. So yes. Am I a part of the journey of those that have decided, to start exploring options that might look different than what their story has been so far? I am, and I've seen miracle after miracle. It's not my miracle to share, but it's God's. And inevitably, he's brought some of those things about, more so on a one-to-one basis than on a public basis. But for me, it's about people. You either know that trafficking is real or you don't. And this day and age, most of us know that trafficking is real. Do we know that it's existing in our backyard? I was trafficked right there in Oklahoma, right there in Tulsa by my mother. And I went to school and I went to church and I went to all these places and nobody knew. Nobody knew what was going on. But here's the big thing, Brandon. Nobody really wanted to know. What I was the dirty, poor girl who wanted way too much attention. And so people steered clear of me rather than leaning in. And so I challenge churches and I challenge faith leaders to lean into those messy situations. Jesus did. Because when we lean into them, we block a predator from leaning into them.
That's so good. AnnMarie, what's one thing you would want our listeners to really remember about your message with Fireborne?
Ooh, one thing. I think one thing I want people to remember about Fireborne is that you have a role. You don't have to start a nonprofit. You don't have to become an expert even in trafficking. You don't have to do everything, but you can do something. Fireborne is really about equipping people to recognize what God has already placed in their hands and helping them use it well, because equip people. Transformation then multiplies. And that's how we begin to take and hold ground, right?
Amen. So how can listeners learn more about Fireborne, maybe get involved and support the movement?
We do have a website, so that's the best way to get a hold of us, see what's going on. There's a way that you can contact me through the website also. So I would encourage everyone to go to Fireborne, and that's Fireborne with an E, because we carry the fire. We're not from the fire, but we carry the fire. So it's FIREBORNE.org.
I love it. Well, AnnMarie, I so appreciate you being on the show. I know you're a busy woman. We wish you and Fireborne the best moving forward.
Thank you, Brandon. I'm so grateful for you and for this opportunity to share.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptulsa.com. That's gnptulsa.com. Or call 918-301-6356.